Up until this year, I wasn't a huge perfume user. I had a lot of body sprays, fragrance body sprays from places like Bath & Body Works and that, but I'd occasionally only have a perfume if someone gave it to me as a gift. So I never really bought or even knew what I liked. But this year is my spending year and I started to try and move away from body sprays and body mists and move into perfume. Now, the perfume I have purchased this year are very inexpensive budget perfumes. I have not yet gone into designer or niche fragrances. That may happen in the future, but right now, most of the perfumes I own, actually all of the perfumes I own, are very inexpensive. I don't own a lot of them and I'm only starting my collection now. But I thought I'd share it with you anyway and give you my thoughts on those that I've purchased so far. So let's get into it. Let's start with the perfumes that I own that come from the Body Shop. We've got Black Musk, White Musk Flora, and White Musk Low, the green one. So for a number of years when I was a lot younger, I was really into just the plain original White Musk. I thought it smelled really nice, really powdery and fresh, kind of like a clean smell that you get once you're out of the shower, and it's kind of relaxing as well. It's not my favorite anymore, although I still have it in my collection. It can be a good daytime scent, but it's not one that I go for. Out of this collection, it's not the one that I go for the most now. The Flora, the pink one, I'm not a huge floral fan of fragrances. I tend to go for more woodsy orientals, and I don't mind more plums and darker scents. I also don't mind quite sweet scents. But with Flora, it is kind of floral, but there's nothing really that special about it. I'll wear it during the day if I'm just going up to the supermarket or around the shopping center or just running errands, but it's not one I wear every day. The Low, the green one, I actually quite like. I'm not usually into fresh scents, but I live in Brisbane and it gets quite hot here. Not at the moment, it's winter. But this is actually a really nice, just fresh out of the shower scent. It is slightly floral, but it's also very crisp and light as well. Out of the two more floral ones, the Flora and the Low, I prefer this one and would grab this one over the pink one. But my favorite of all of the Body Shop musk range is the Black Musk. I wear this one quite often. I wear it a lot at night. It's very rich and dark and kind of sexy, which I'm really into those sort of deeper oriental type fragrances. Out of the Body Shop range, this one is definitely my favorite. Oh, it smells so good. It's very sweet as well. So let's go into my Ariana Grande perfumes. I have 4 of them. The first one I ever purchased was Cloud. Now I purchased Cloud because nearly all of the fragrance YouTubers that I watched highly recommended this and said it was really sweet and cozy. And it is. It's a really relaxing, calming scent. Very powdery, but has kind of that vanilla-y tones to it. I like wearing this at night. It seems to last a lot longer on my clothes than it does on my skin, but I'm finding that with a lot of the Ariana Grande perfumes, and I'll talk about the next 3 in a minute. But this one probably is my favorite out of the range, not because of the fragrance, but because it's the only one that lasts on my skin. I have to say, I love the bottles. They're so cute with the pom-poms. Now I find all 3 of these not sexy, they're girly and playful, which is what they're supposed to be. Of the 3, my favorite is Moonlight. It has, I think, lavender notes. I'll put the notes up in a minute. It is my favorite of the 3 and I really like the iridescent bottle. I think it's really pretty. Sweet Like Candy is, of course, the sweetest of the Ariana Grande fragrances that I own. It just doesn't last on my skin. None of these last on my skin, which is so disappointing. I've tried a few different things. I've tried putting Vaseline on my wrist. I've tried body lotions. I've tried layering. Nothing seems to work, which is such a shame because they're such cute, fun scents. And then we have Ari, which is the clear bottle. I think this was her first fragrance that she came out with. All of these 3 were blind buys. I bought them because I quite liked Cloud, but unfortunately they just don't last on my skin. I'll probably get half an hour out of them if I'm lucky, and I just can't smell it. And at first I thought maybe it was because, you know how your nose gets used to certain fragrances and you can't smell it on yourself anymore. But I've had other people ask and they can't smell it on my skin either. So something with my skin chemistry just doesn't work with the Ariana Grande fragrances, which is such a shame because they're really nice, sweet, playful scents. They just don't last on me. So because of that, Cloud out of that range is my favorite, even though I probably like the scents of these better. The only other celebrity scent that I have is Britney Spears' Midnight Fantasy. I think this is a plum-based, sugary perfume based on her Fantasy range. I think there's quite a lot in the Fantasy family. At first when I sprayed this, it was a blind buy. Most of my fragrances are blind buys. I'm just doing recommendations that I see on YouTube. When I first sprayed this, I didn't like it. I have to admit that I was like, oh, it smells cheap, it smells synthetic, but it's growing on me. I think it's a bit too fruity for my tastes. I think I like something a little bit more that has a base note of like sandalwood or patchouli or vanilla or something. I think there might be vanilla in this, I don't know, but it's just a little bit too fruity for me, and I'm not into fruity scents. Like I said, I prefer darker, deeper scents. I'm not sure I'm even going to keep this one. I don't hate it. I don't have any real opinion of it, actually. It's an okay fragrance, but it's not one that I'm going to probably pull out of the perfume drawer all that often, which is a shame because everybody seems to love this. Now, if we're talking ultra cheap fragrances, these little travel spray fragrances are from Kmart. I know what you're thinking. We have Summer and Coconut. Now, individually, these are nothing special. Coconut, pretty much just coconut, nothing else. And Summer, it's just kind of a fruity, fresh, summery scent. I can't even tell you what the notes are in this. It's kind of got some floral vibes as well. But I've tried pairing them together. Putting these two, spraying them together, the coconut just seems to lift whatever's in the summer fragrance. The coconut just seems to lift it. On its own, coconut is boring and you wouldn't want to wear it, but with coconut and summer together, it just works and I really like it. And I think they're only like $3 each. I think that's the key if you're going to go and buy those really cheap department store perfumes. Buy a couple of them and start trying to pair them together to see if you can create a much more sophisticated fragrance, because I feel like, because they're so simple usually, if you're pairing them together or putting them with other fragrances that you own, it can actually work out a lot better. So the Versace Crystal Noir is probably my sexiest fragrance. I really quite like this for night, and it's perfect for a date night, which I don't get too many of, but we can hope. I think this was $40 from Chemist Warehouse, so again, not expensive. I don't have any perfumes that cost a lot of money. Maybe in the future I'll go into more expensive fragrances, but right now they're super budget cheap. But I actually really like this. Oh, it is so nice. It's probably the nicest, it's more designer than anything else that I own. And it is making me want to try more of the Versace brand, simply because like once you've been trying all of these cheap synthetic fragrances and you get something that's a little more upmarket, you're like, yeah, I can understand where the money's coming from now. I get it. So I definitely will be buying a larger bottle of this once this runs out, although this is a perfect purse size anyway. But yeah, this is my favorite perfume out of all of the range that I got. I have some dupes for you. I got these from DB Cosmetics. We've got the Chic Mademoiselle, which is supposed to be Chanel, Coco Chanel, I think. And we've got Poppy Noir, which I think is supposed to be Black Orchid. Now, the reason I got duplicates or dupes rather than the actual perfumes is because I didn't want to outlay so much money. I actually want the proper designer fragrances, but I didn't want to outlay so much money. So I thought if I got these and tried them, and if I liked them, then I would go and buy the actual perfume. So out of these two, I don't particularly like the Chic Mademoiselle. It's very fruity. It's, according to the reviews, very close to the actual designer fragrance. It's not a favorite of mine though. I think it's the fruity notes. Again, I just don't like fruity scents. Anything fruity or citrusy especially. I don't mind deeper fruits, But anything that's kind of citrusy or fruity in that way, I'm not a fan of. So saved me some money, I won't be buying Chanel. The Poppy Noir, however, I really do like. But then it's a deeper, sexier, muskier fragrance, which is more up my alley. Because it's a dupe, it just doesn't last. The longevity isn't there, even though it may smell like the original fragrance. They have no longevity at all. So it doesn't last on my skin, but I knew that going in. It really was, because these are only $10 each. It really was just so I could smell the fragrances without having to go into a department store and trying on all of the testers, especially these days. You don't want to be going around the shopping center. And if you have to wear a mask, it's a bit stupid anyway. And they don't have a lot of testers out because of that. But I love this. This is really, really nice. So I probably will be going to buy Black Orchid. It might be my first expensive perfume. How cute are these? These are Armani perfumes that came in one of those, you know, like at Christmas time or Mother's Day or stuff. You can get these like little, like trial size sampler packages. I don't really know what they're called. Limited edition mini fragrances. I got gifted this and I have never bought Armani fragrances obviously before, but it's such a great way to like try out designer fragrances. And plus they're perfect for putting into your purse. These aren't sprays, so you just have to put them onto your wrists. They're really cute little bottles, little miniature versions of the large bottles, of course. And I think we've got Armani Mania, Aqua di Gioia, see, and Armani Code for Women. Out of all of these 5 little cute, little sweet little bottles, Armani Code is my favorite. Oh my God, it is such a nice fragrance. It's actually what got me wanting to start a perfume collection. Oh, it's so good. It's really good. There's a good chance that I will buy an Armani Code for Women in the future, an actual proper size one. Of the others, C's quite florally. I know a lot of people like it, but I mean, it wasn't really my type of scent. Aqua di Gio and Aqua di Gioia were fine. They were fresh florals. I actually didn't mind Armani Mania. That was a bit more sweeter than the others. Yeah, it's a more softer fragrance. And I think this actually would be good going out on a date or just going out with friends, because it's very feminine, very girly, very womanly. But my favorite is of the group Armani Code, probably because it's got those darker oriental qualities that I particularly like. But as you can see, I don't have a lot of perfume, and the ones that I have are very budget friendly. The reason I haven't started going into more expensive perfume is because I'm just starting out and I don't know what I like yet. So it's been really interesting to try a lot of these different fragrances that people have been recommending and seeing what types of scents and what types of fragrances that I'm actually liking. I have no problem buying a more expensive fragrance, and I may do in the future. Because I never knew what I liked or what would suit my skin chemistry, I just didn't know what to get. So trying out these less expensive options and seeing the types of fragrances means that I can now be pushed into or know which sort of way to go if I'm going to go a more expensive fragrance. I will go through my Bath & Body Works fragrance mist collection because I do have quite a lot of those. I still wear those quite a lot and enjoy them a lot. But for now, that was my fragrance collection, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. Bye.